Hi guys, so today for the video, for Sunday's video, I know I already did a top 10 video, however I wanted to make a separate video on my top 5 favorite books for summer. So these books most of these books I read last year, summer. However, three of these books I read this year, summer, and I'm super excited for them. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, chillax with me, have a good time, and by the way, if you hear any noises, that's my dog because he's here. And also, yeah, just have a good time with me, and let's talk about books. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. Okay, so the first video is a book that I read this summer, and I just loved it absolutely so much. So a little backstory about this whole book is that I didn't watch it as soon as it came out. I watched it last year summer, but ever since then I've been obsessed with the To All the Boys I Loved Before franchise, and just recently, like a month ago I think, I got this book, and yeah, I just fell in love with it. I love it so much. It is so gripping. It only took me 3 days to read it. That's how gripping it probably could have took me 1 day, but I don't know, it took me 3 days, which is still very fast. So yeah, this book is very gripping, and yeah, it's just like such an easy book to like just fly past. Like I would be reading it, and then I'll get to like page 100 pages, and then I'll just be like, I just want to keep on reading it. I don't even care if I'm tired. I just want to keep on reading it. It's just such a gripping book. It's by Jenny Han, and there's also 2 other books, which is To All the Boys I Loved Before and Always and Forever, Lara Jean. But yeah, this book is just so great. And if you don't know what it's about, it's a teen rom-com. It's basically about this girl, Lara Jean, and how she loves fantasizing about having a boyfriend, all the romance stuff, and she likes romance novels and stuff. But she's never actually had a boyfriend. So what she does when she has a crush is she writes a letter, but she doesn't send them out. She just writes them so she can understand how she's feeling. But one day, her sister Kitty sends out the letters, and the whole problem of the story is that one of the letters was addressed to Josh, which was her older sister's ex-boyfriend. So yeah, all of that happens, but so that Josh doesn't think that she's in love with him, her Peter Kavinsky, which is another boy who got a letter, basically pretend to fake date. And all this drama happens. I'm not going to spoil it in case you want to read this, but that's what happens in the first book. And then this book is basically about how another boy who got the letter was John Ambrose, and he comes and he like works at the same place she's working at, like volunteering at. So, and like she can never tell him that she has a boyfriend, because like every time she tries to, like she gets distracted or something like that. So yeah, and it's around Valentine's Day. So, but it's just so good. It's just such a good book. And also the movies are on Netflix. The third movie is coming out next year, I believe. And yeah, I just love the franchise, the movie franchise and the book franchise so much. Okay. So the second book is a book that I'm reading right now. I just started it. And it's basically called One of Us is Lying. And it's about how it's these 5 characters at the start of the book: a geek, a jock, a criminal, a princess, and an outsider. And basically the outsider is Simon, and they're not close friends. Like they used to be quite good friends, but like in high school they kind of separated and went their own ways. So what ends up happening is that they all get detention, and while they're in detention, Simon drinks a cup of something. I try my best not to give a spoiler, and he basically has a allergic reaction, and he dies when he gets to the hospital. So basically, it's a murder mystery book. And it's basically about how finding out who did it. So yeah, it's just so gripping. So far, I'm on chapter 5 so far. I just started reading it yesterday, and I'm just so excited to carry on reading it because it's such a gripping story. And even though I know the first book that I did was a teen rom-coms and also murder mysteries, I know they're very opposite to each other, but they're like my favorite books, and I just love them so much. And this book, if you're wondering, is by Karen M. McManus. Don't quote me on that. But anyway, yeah, it's just such a good book. And there's 2 other books. This is the first book, and I'm going to get the 2 other books after I finish this book. But the second book is called Two Can Keep a Secret. And then the third book is One of Us Is Next. So yeah, just by the titles, you can tell that they're so gripping. Then the third book is actually a book that I love like so much. I think I read this about like I think I read this in like year 4, year 5. I'm pretty sure in year 4. And then I got like halfway through it, and then I never read it again. So then in year 5, I started reading it again, and I just loved it so much. Cody. Sorry. But anyway, it's about how this boy, he has this I don't know how to say it, but he has this face deformity, I guess. So yeah, you can see how that's really challenging for him because a lot of people, he gets bullied a lot, so he has to be homeschooled. But then in middle school, they decide that the best way for him to learn how to socialize and everything is for him to go to a real school. So he ends up going to a real school, and he meets some new friends, and he does get bullied along the way, but it turns out okay. And I'm trying to be as vague as possible with these books because I know what they're about, but you guys probably don't. So yeah, I just love this book so much. And it's also a movie that it was a movie in theaters, but now you can find it on Netflix, and that's the same thing for To All the Boys I Love You For. So if you want some good movies to watch this summer, Wonder's a good movie, To All the Boys I Love You For, and P.S. I Still Love You are good movies. Okay. So then the fourth book is kind of 2 books, because it's 2 books by Jacqueline Wilson, and they're basically, this one is basically the sequel for this one, and I just love the book so much. So basically, they're called My Mom, Tracy Beaker, and We Are the Beaker Girls. So My Mom, Tracy Beaker is about how Tracy Beaker, if you don't know who Tracy Beaker is, she's a part of she's like one of the most well-known Jacqueline Wilson characters, and she's part of the Dumping Ground, which is also a show. She's part of her own series, and yeah, she's like the most iconic character from Jacqueline Wilson. And basically, she has a daughter, Jess, and then she's a single mother. But then she starts dating this footballer who she used to know as a kid. And then Jess doesn't like him, and then they end up getting engaged, but then they end up getting breaking it off. So that's the first book. And then in the second book, it's basically how they move into this place with this lady that they meet, they move into an antique shop with this lady that they met called Flo. They get a dog, Alfie, and like everything's all good and stuff. And then she has this bully that steals her ice cream, and she's homeless. But then they become friends and everything, and yeah, it's just a really good book, especially for like kids. It's a really good book, and I love it so much. If you can't tell, I'm trying to be as vague as possible, and I'm really bad at like talking about stuff but not really talking about them, so yeah. And then lastly, the 5th book, well, I guess it's the 6th book, well, I'm going to say 5th book. It is, you can't see it, it's that big. A Michael Morpurgo book. I know, very weird how I went from like all these like teen kiddie books and then like this book. But it's a Michael Morpurgo book called Poppy Field. And it's a book, but inside the book there's like a poem. and it's just really good. I when I was in primary school, I won this book for because I'm really, not to brag or anything, but I'm really good at history, especially when it comes to World War One and World War Two, and when it comes to Black history, and those are two things that I'm really passionate about. So yeah, I won this book, and also if you couldn't tell by my channel, I do poetry, and yeah, my teacher just thought this would be a great book for me, and it is a great book. And it's a story about a poppy field during, it's some of it's during World War, and then the other part of it's like after the World War has settled and years have gone past. So it's just really, really good. It's just a really good book, and it has a poem inside of the book, and I love poetry, so anything to do with poetry, I'm just like, yes. Especially poetry about World War, I'm just like, yes, that's like my favorite. Those were poems about World War were like my first ever poems I ever did, so they hold a close, they're very near and dear to my heart, what I'm trying to say. And I just love this book so much, and this is the first, I'm just going to read you the poem, like a short poem. We are the dead. Short days ago, we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders Field. So if you don't know what Flanders Field is, it's basically this field that was part of World. I'm not good at describing it, but it's basically it was basically a huge part of World War, and now poppies grow there. And like, it's just such a good book. I love the book so much. And this poem that the poem that's in here was related to our school topic because we were learning about that poem in like history. So I already knew the poem, but just to see like this whole like history about, well, not like it's like fiction, but also like true at the same time. So yeah, I just love this book so much, and I just think it's such an excellent book. And now I'm going to, just to prove how much I love this, I'm going to like say the poem that's in here. So the poem is, in Flanders fields the poppies blow, between the crosses row and row. They mark our place, and in the sky the lark still bravely singing fly. Scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead short days ago. We lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders Field. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from falling hands we throw. The torch be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders Field. So the poem's by John McCrae, and it's a very old poem, as you can tell by the words quarrel, foe, ye. By the way, if you don't know what quarrel and foe mean, quarrel means to like bicker, which is also English slang, so I'll say to argue, and then foe is basically an enemy. But yeah, the poem is just so well done, and there's even, if you can see it, there's even like real pictures of, I'm assuming, Flanders Field, and real pictures of important people from that era, I guess you can say. And yeah, it's just a really good, well done book. And I'm not a big, as you can tell by the other books I recommend, I'm not a big like non-fiction person, which is really weird since I just said like I love history. But yeah, I don't hate non-fiction. It's just that it doesn't interest me as much as some people. Just adjusting my tripod. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of non-fiction, but this book is just so well done. Also with the bits of fiction in it, it's just so well done. And yeah, I love it so much. Anyway, that was a really long rant. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. These were my top 5 summer books for literally every and anybody to read. Literally, this whole book, all these books were for different age groups. Like the 2 first ones were for teenagers. The 3 middle ones were kind of kiddish, like older kid stuff though. And then the Michael Mapargo was obviously teens to young adults. So yeah, very diverse. So if you want to check any of those videos, I'll put the names of the books and the authors in the description below. Also, my TikTok will be in the description, and so will my dog Goldie's, and so will my friend Alex's YouTube channel be in the description as always. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe and turn on that notification button. And I hope you liked this video. Hopefully next week or so, I should be starting to do more videos with like challenge videos. Hopefully, I'm going to cross my fingers either next week or the week before or the week after. I should hopefully be getting some guests as well. So look out for guests. My very first guest is coming soon, hopefully, and yeah, many more guests to go. By guest I mean just like my friends and my family. A reoccurring guest in the background though is Goldie, so yeah. And yeah, I hope you guys look out for that, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Mwah! I hope you guys are having, I'm saying hope a lot, but I hope you guys are having a fantastic Sunday, and that you guys are going to have if you're a kid, I hope you're having you're going to have a fantastic first week of school. I'm starting my first week of secondary school. That's big. If you're in America, secondary school is middle school / high school combined. But yeah, that was a really long outro as well. Love you guys. Have a great day. I already said that. Like and subscribe and turn on that notification button. Or bell. I don't know. I'm still getting used to this whole thing. Bye. Love you.